you for the wonderful introduction, Boingi. And as you've said that, I've switched from the name Sine to Michelle, but because Michelle is my first name, and I've tried to stick to that, especially for a global perspective and global acceptance as well. So basically, I'm originally from Cape Town, South Africa, and now I'm based in Germany. And the nice thing about my work has been always grounded in social entrepreneurship, and that's how we also met with Boingi. And I've always been part of the social entrepreneurship ecosystem, focusing on creating very inclusive opportunities, especially for women, youth, and communities in high crime and under-resourced communities. And I've worked for multiple organizations in South Africa where I was working for violence prevention through urban upgrading, where we focused on organic farming and waste management in Cape Town. And we also provided ICT for development, where we installed Wi-Fi in township and high crime under-resourced areas. And I've also worked with Activate Change Drivers, where I was doing a social entrepreneurship program called Switch. And we were helping over 3,000 young people in South Africa develop social enterprises. And I've also worked in creating a marketplace for township entrepreneurs, which was in 2017. And we developed this platform called Side by Side, where we were linking township entrepreneurs to the market. So I think that sums up my work in South Africa in social entrepreneurship. And now here in Germany, I'm also working very actively in diversity learning and transformation within the corporate space for a very multinational organization spanning for 26 countries in 26 countries. And I'm actually assisting the diversity team to develop content around inclusion and belonging, and also transformation of the organization.
Wow, what an inspiring journey, Sine. I know that you're also a part of the Youth ICT Council South Africa, and you were the provincial coordinator for the Western Cape. So your passion within the ICT sector and also entrepreneurship, is just beyond.
Yes, I've been very passionate about, I think my whole passion lies in development, and even my thesis topic here in Germany, because I'm still studying as well, majoring in economics and finance. And I have chosen a topic that's very out of the norm within that sector or within that industry, where I'm focusing on how does digital transformation actually shape diversity strategies in multinational companies. So, it has been such a great involvement to be part of the Youth ICT Council as well. And it really has shaped my interest in ICT, because I'm someone that studied entrepreneurship and I did economics and finance. So it really created that foundation in, sparking the interest in ICT.
Wow, talking about digital transformations, why do you think it's important for young people to be involved or lead the journey of digital transformation in their respective countries within the African continent?
I think because I've also started to live in a global perspective by moving from South Africa and going abroad and understanding that we are becoming a very globalized society. And understanding that also young people are natural adopters of technology. And that is something that we need to really nurture. And because young people bring a very fresh perspective and agility that we can actually drive some meaningful change. And I think if you look at how young people have embraced technology, especially like in the African continent, we see this with social media as well, that we're really interested in adopting technology at a very young age. And another thing that I can also mention, I think it was a recent program from the FNB App Academy. And I was very surprised or very impressed in terms of the appetite that young people have in coding and tech. Because when I looked at the statistics of the program, that they had like over 200,000 applications, that is a lot. And that actually shows that young people want to be involved in digital transformation. As much as perhaps there's not much space for everyone, but people have appetite for it, and they want to actually engage in digital transformation. So I think that involvement is very important, but we also need to focus on how do we then create digital solutions that fit an African context, that is able to solve local challenges that we have. Like, for example, in South Africa, I know that yesterday we have about over 140,000 more in addition to the unemployment rate or unemployed people, which makes it like over 8 million young people unemployed in South Africa. So I think that we have a huge digital gap, but we also have a huge appetite from young people. So how do we then nurture that and provide and equip them with the right skills that fit, the right industries?
Absolutely, Sine, you are correct, because young people are the early adopters of technologies. So what is remaining for our governments is to make sure that they develop local AI talent, so that we don't just be observers within the AI global landscape. We are also contributing through the AI developers, AI digital content creators, AI developers. My next question is around the AI youth ecosystem, because like you've already outlined, I was going to ask about the challenges, but you've already outlined challenges that many South Africans or many young people within the African continent are facing. But can you just speak on the AI youth ecosystem, like why it's important for the African continent to develop or build a robust AI youth ecosystem as we are talking about the digital future?
I like what you mentioned there, because we should be channeling this high energy of young people adopting to AI very quickly. But we also need to be very strategic about it in terms of creating very structured support. I think I've also mentioned this FNB App Academy, which I really found it to be really outstanding. But we need to really channel it to how do we structure into building real solutions that have both social and economic impact. And this is where I think I already mentioned that my passion lies in terms of social enterprise. And when I was also looking at the unemployment rate, and I was looking where are actually people losing interest, right, in terms of the job market in South Africa. And I was looking at the highest number is community and social services, because young people are viewing this as a very stagnant and traditional industry. And no one is actually taking interest in it because it's not too tech-driven. And how do we then make a little bit of social enterprise more fashionable, or not fashionable, or interesting for people to see it as a viable, visible career option, and enable tech in it, where people can see how innovation can directly impact or improve lives. So with the ecosystem in South Africa is that it's not, or in Africa, it's not solidified. We don't have an AI governance. We don't have much AI policies. We don't have another trend that I'm seeing happening is that we are operating in silos. I remember back in the 2000, like early 2015 or something like that, in Cape Town, there was a big entrepreneurship ecosystem that was very solid. We even call it Silicon Cape Town or something like that. And it was really impactful in terms of supporting entrepreneurs, having a good governance structure in terms of how do we go about scaling entrepreneurship in South Africa. So I think that that model or framework can be replicated within the AI ecosystem, where we have more structure and stop operating in silos, because I see that there's a lot of brilliant technology, transformative ideas from young people, but they stay in the boot camps, in the hackathons, in the workshops. And these are, ideas that could be transformable, scalable as well. So I think that the biggest challenge is to stop operating in silos, create a benchmarking system, create a framework that formalizes the market. And also coming from a global perspective, here in Europe, I feel like in Africa, we have unique challenges for Africans. And we need to make sure that we're creating applications or AI systems that support our challenges, that fit our realities. For instance, like when I'm thinking about it, like South Africa has a very high crime problem. And we could have an application like Google Maps that will show you a route that is more safer, show you a route with hotspots or things like that, But we need more, the people that are working within the space of AI and digital transformation to come together, create that framework that works for everyone, create a franchisable model as well, where if Sine creates an app, how can then we franchise this app instead of everyone creating their mini apps in every different corner of Africa?
Absolutely, because if we are not using a collaborative approach towards AI, we will remain as observers, and also we will not have anything to contribute towards the AI global landscape. And as we are talking about shaping the Africa's digital future, I fully agree with you that we need to have young people at the forefront, because young people are the ones that are going to even solve the challenges of youth unemployment in South Africa, which is we have a highest rate in the world. So, Sinem, just a last question around how can young people leverage on social media to access opportunities, especially AI developers, AI innovators? Because I know that many of them, they is busy building these solutions, but then in terms of who's adopting or who's the first customer to adopt the innovative products, it also becomes a challenge.
Bongi, what I could say is that we have a lot of great programs in South Africa, a great network, organizations like the Youth ICT Council. We have, many programs focused or tailored to this specific sector, which is digital transformation or AI. However, what's missing is visibility. And this is what I've learned living in a global context, is that visibility is very crucial, because only when you're visible, you can actually have a reach. And most of, young people that are interested in being involved or adopting these technologies, they don't know where to access what. So I think that we need to build a very local AI talent to ensure that our data and our ethics do reflect an African context. And also to make sure that, because what I've also learned, I'm also part of a program called Empower Her. And it's all about empowering young girls in the southern region of Africa in coding and just technology. And they're creating beautiful social enterprises in those communities as well. And we also have some young women from South Africa. The issue is that because there's no visibility, people don't know where to start, where to reach. And the way that tech or technology or digital transformation or AI has been packaged, it's this intimidating thing that it's only reserved for a selected few. I think the visibility part that I want to really focus on is that how do we rebrand, AI and tech to, to something that is not very intimidating for young people, intimidating for girls, intimidating for older people as well. To package it, to not say this is only a route for data scientists, how do we then create that pipeline, a talent pipeline where there's diverse points of entry, where someone could be working in finance, but tailoring programs that will also say, as a finance person, this is how you can use AI. This is, don't be intimidated about it. Not everyone has to be a coder. But how do we then come up with solutions from entrepreneurs that need these AI solutions? So I think that is the most important, pillar that we need to focus on, where we just rebrand tech or rebrand AI, make it less intimidating for people, make it more visible, make the ecosystem more visible once it's solid, make it more visible and accessible for people, and also creating a very franchise model in all the programs that are happening, so that the brilliant ideas don't just stay in the rooms, and that people can also not view social enterprise or social entrepreneurship as this dead-end career. It is a profitable one. You don't have to be, I'm just doing this for the community and things like that. So I think the rebranding needs to happen. That's where the shift will happen.
Absolutely, because some people are just so scared, because we talk about deep learning, we talk about machine learning. So we just get confused because of these big words, because I truly also believe AI should work for everyone. And also, as we're talking about the digital future of the African continent, we must make sure that we are not leaving anyone behind. Sine, thank you so much for joining us today, and also for sharing insights with our listeners and also viewers within our channel. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you, and I really enjoyed this conversation, and I was so happy to kind of share my 2 cents and also global experience with you. And I think that there's hope for Africa and tech, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think it's always good to also get a global perspective so that we can see how do we align the global ambitions with the local and regional imperatives. To our listeners, thank you so much for joining us today. Remember, we are still running AI powered solutions series, where we are spotlighting African innovators who are harnessing the power of AI to solve some of the continental pressing challenges. Because we are saying AI should be about solving community challenges, or it should be about tackling challenges that we are facing within our communities. Thank you so much. If you have if you have enjoyed or you have learned something from this episode, don't forget to